Hey everyone, we're back with another element of an Arizona tournament. I have been told that I need to stop asking you to smash those like and subscribe buttons because it makes me sound like a dork, so we won't do that. Instead, I'm going to focus on how we create double entries and cross entries, and then maybe we'll get into scheduling. From the Events tab, Settings and Events, I can add a new event, or I can go down to Patterns and Double Entry Limits. And here's where we can set up how everything is structured. So for a tournament-wide limit, right now it's set for no double entry. Well, I want people to be able to enter a Congress, a debate, and 2 speech events. So they can be in up to 4 events, not 47. Now these exclusivity patterns I created, and you can just click the plus, and so Congress is its own pattern. It's limited in terms of you can only enter one event. Well, Congress really only has one event. Debate's limited, you can only enter one event. And then speech is limited in that you can only enter 2. If you were to say no cross-entry with anything, that's all you could do. And if you were to say unlimited, then they could enter everything. Now, I'm setting the tournament up in our normal style, where Congress comes before debate and IE is on Saturday. So with that in mind, a student could enter these either or. So I can, click debate out. In the event that I want to schedule Congress and debate concurrently because we can't take Friday during school off, I could say no cross-entry with debate and no cross-entry with Congress. But that you could enter Congress and speech or debate and speech. But because I'm doing a standard Arizona tournament schedule here, we'll say that they can be either or. So now that I've got the exclusivity patterns in place, I could save those double entry settings. If you're having wait lists, do you want double entry limits there? Probably. Because that way a student couldn't enter 5 speech events in the hopes that they make 2. Now we have to assign our events to these patterns. Well, Congress is in Congress. Extemp is IE. PF is in debate. There we go. So the event groupings are saved, and now here are the events. So I've got my 5 speech events, I've got my 2 debate events, and I've got Congress. So now I can take a look at speaker codes, and we're going to just get rid of those numbers because remember how when we were creating our event, we said that it was going to be school code and then name. So we're good there. Next, let's take a look at creating a schedule. This is different from Joy of Tournaments, where you could set up the tournament schedule and the rounds the morning of the tournament and be just fine. Tabroom doesn't like that uncertainty. So I'm going to say that Congress 1 is going to be at, and notice how this is Friday the 25th that I'm on. So these are the time slots for Friday. Congress is going to be 8 o'clock, that's wrong, a.m. versus p.m. 8 o'clock a.m., and because we only have 12 people, we just have to do a 2.5-hour session. So we're going to say it's going to go till 10:30 a.m. And we'll add that session in. You want to make sure that your start and your end time are as accurate as possible, because this will impact judge usage. Kind of like how in Joy, if your expected end time was too close to the expected start time of the next round, you wouldn't have any judges. And so we'll say Congress 2 is going to be from noon. Wow, a 90-minute break. I am really, really generous. But we'll say it's from noon to 2:30 p.m. and we'll add that. And then, provided that I can spell, debate 1 is going to be at 3:30 p.m. And you know what? That one's going to go to 5 p.m. because the first round always takes incredibly long. And we're going to say debate 2 is going to be from 5:45 to 6:45. And we're going to say debate 3 and it caught me and put up a warning because I had that scheduled for 8 a.m. This AM PM thing will get you if you're not careful. And then debate 4, we'll start that at 8:15, and we'll say that that'll end at 9:15. Now, my round times here were pretty generous. You could probably get away with like a 10-minute gap in between, and I'm giving an hour for the time slots there, so we're okay. Let's see, do I have any other rounds? Yes, debate 3, 8 o'clock p.m., and you have to save the time slots. All right, that got rid of my warning, so we're good there. So now I can go to my speech. And speech 1 is going to be 8 o'clock a.m. until 9:30 a.m. And then speech 2 is going to be 9:45 a.m. to, and notice there I went 11 o'clock p.m. You have to be careful. And then speech 3, we'll do 11:15 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And then debate time slot 5 can go 12:45 p.m. to 1:45 p.m. And speech time slot 4 can go 2:30, and we'll say to 3:30. And you could also label these as like debate elim round 1. The labeling doesn't really matter as much. Typing difficult. And we'll say speech 5 goes from 5:15 to 6:45. And then the final round of debate, because I don't think we could fit back-to-back debate rounds in here. Not if we're trying to keep any sort of semblance of order. All right, and so we've got our time slots for Friday And we've got our time slots for Saturday. So now we can schedule some rounds. Congress round 1, Congress round 2. I don't need to label these rounds because it'll do it automatically for me. But I do want to choose my tiebreaker, Congress prelims, and movement. We don't want to move anything. Okay? So we can save those rounds for Congress. And then we want to go novice PF. And we're going to say novice PF is 1, 2, 3, 4. Prelim preset. And then we want to do a high-low power match, a high-low power match. And our tiebreakers, remember we created FLA debate prelims. We'll do a single flight, and then debate 5. We can label that as quarters, and that is an elim round. And so we're going to use debate elims. And we'll say that's semis, that's an elim round. Debate elims. And we're just using elims because there you go. Okay, so we've got that. Varsity PF, we're just going to clone the novice PF schedule, and great. Notice how it labels it automatically round 1, 2, 3, and 4. You don't have to worry about doing that. And so we can save those rounds. Now notice how when we're clicking off, everything is now blue. So we'll go drama. And we have the 5 speech rounds, prelim, tiebreaker, FLA speech prelims. And then semis, elim round, FLA speech elims, and finals is an elim round. FLA speech elims, actually that is a final round, and that should work just fine. And there we go, there's our DI schedule. And for extemp we can clone it and save. And for humor we can clone it and save, and it's saving the round labels, and it's saving the presets, and it's saving the tiebreakers. And impromptu. And oratory. So now we've got our judges, we've got our events, we've got the tournament set up, and we've got our schedule and our time slots. Next thing we worry about is sites and rooms if we were in an in-person tournament, and then we will worry about money. Thanks a lot, and I will see you next time.